Welcome back to Hardball. Military veterans, by and large, tend to lean Republican. In 2008, they went for John McCain by 10 points. 4 years earlier, they gave Bush a 16-point edge. And polls show that Romney retains a strong lead among vets this year. Nevertheless, as Politico reported this week, President Obama is making a push to win the group over, especially younger veterans of the Iraq and Afghan wars. His pitch is that he's pushed policies to help vets find jobs, like giving tax credits to businesses that hire them. He also brought the troops home from Iraq and extended benefits of the GI Bill to Afghanistan and Iraq vets. So, does the president have a shot of making strides with young vets? Patrick Murphy is a former congressman from Pennsylvania. Seti Warren is the mayor of Newton, Massachusetts, and both are Iraq war veterans. Mayor, why, in spite of the poll numbers, do you think there's ground here to be made up by President Obama?
Well, this president has done an outstanding job in his commitment to veterans. As you mentioned, as the tax cuts that he's offered to encourage businesses to hire veterans, the challenge he made last summer in 2011 for private sector to hire veterans has resulted in 60,000 jobs for veterans and military families. He's extended the GI Bill for veterans of the Iraq and Afghanistan war, historic measures in place where veterans can take advantage of in-state college tuition for free. This is a president who understands the commitment that's been made by those in uniform that have come home. And the fact we have to make sure that there is a ladder for them when they do get home. And there are real results there. I think as veterans learn this president's record, they will be in support of President Obama this fall. Patrick,
one thing the president might have going for him, unemployment has been decreasing among vets. It stands at 9.5% now. That's down from 13.5% last year. How important will the job issue be to veterans in particular?
Oh, it's very important. And I think that's why you're seeing it decreased, which is great news, but there's a lot more work to be done. And like Seti said, my fellow Iraq war veteran, although he was in the Navy and I'm an Army guy, but when you look at issues like Hire Our Heroes, which is an initiative that President Obama is doing in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, and what Mrs. Obama and Dr. Joe Biden are doing with the Joint Forces Network, to making sure these heroes are hired. But, Michael, if I could say three quick things and why there's a very good chance that President Obama will win the veterans vote. Number one, Mitt Romney is no John McCain. John McCain is an American hero, served his country, and was wounded as a POW in Vietnam. Mitt Romney was in France during Vietnam. Number two, Barack Obama has been an outstanding commander-in-chief. As you know, Michael, Barack Obama, as a candidate, said he will bring bin Laden to justice if he has a chance. He did exactly that with the help of those Navy SEALs. And he said he would bring the troops home from Iraq, which he's done. And thirdly and finally, he has been a true champion for our veterans. The largest increase in veterans benefits in the history of our nation, the new GI Bill, veterans centers all over our country, including two in Pennsylvania, one in Bucks County, one in Montgomery County.
Okay, but Patrick, I have to interrupt and ask, then why is he trailing, he the president, by 24 points?
Well, two things. One, traditionally it is tough for a Democrat to win, but don't mistake the fact that of the younger veterans, those 60 and under, they voted for Barack Obama over John McCain. And Mitt Romney is no John McCain.
You say it's a generational issue.
The polls will continue to trend.
You think it's a generational issue?
There's no doubt it's a generational issue, Michael, but do not discount the fact that, as Seti said, the more these veterans look at what the Commander-in-Chief, Barack Obama, has done for them, the more they will continue to go in his column and eventually vote for him this November.
Let me ask you about this very quickly, if I might. How does the don't ask, don't tell position of the president play in military quarters? Help or hurt him?
I think it helps. I mean, look, I think that people that serve this country in uniform understand fairness. They understand everyone's commitment to serve, no matter who they are. I think it's a huge plus. And I want to add to what my friend, colleague said, Patrick. Look, you have to look at the record. Mitt Romney in Massachusetts, I'm a Massachusetts native, attempted to decrease veterans' benefits by 11% when he was governor. He did not in the last few months make a commitment to continue the HUD VASH program. In fact, he proposed eliminating HUD. We've decreased homelessness by 12% because of the work of the VA.
I get it.
And HUD
Both of you think the president's got a record that ought to distinguish him with vets, and I hear you on those points. Allow me to make a tough transition, because while you're here, I want to make a sharp turn to something that doesn't have anything to do with politics. It's a very serious issue of suicides in the military. I'm sure you've seen Time Magazine's cover story this week. It talks about the alarming trend. More U.S. military personnel have died by suicide since the war in Afghanistan began than have died fighting there. The rate jumped 80% from 2004 to 2008. And while it leveled off in 2010 and 2011, it has soared 18% this year. Suicide has passed road accidents as the leading non-combat cause of death among U.S. troops. While it's hard to come by historical data on military suicides, the Army's been keeping statistics only since the early 80s. There's no denying that the current numbers constitute a crisis. Patrick Murphy, what took me by surprise, 1/3 of suicides among troops have never deployed. In other words, you would think that this is because individuals have deployed 4 or 5 times. 1/3 of them are from troops who've never deployed. What's going on?
There is such an incredible burden on our heroes who are serving our country, Michael. And if you're watching this program, anyone's watching, they got to read that cover story in Time Magazine. It will break your heart. And when you read that story, when you hear the story of someone like Ian Morrison, who's a West Point graduate, an Apache pilot, who went 6 times, and was turned away for help. I mean, my heart goes out to his wife, Rebecca. I will tell you that when our family goes to bed tonight and Maggie Murphy and Jack say their prayers of baby Jesus, we are going to be praying for her and for every one of these heroes' families who took their life. Every 80 minutes, Michael, a veteran in America commits suicide. It is a national shame. There is so much more we need to do.
Seti, what is it that we need to know about this? What drives this? What's the cause from your perspective?
Well, I think that clearly it's a tragedy. As a mayor, I see veterans that come into my door every day. I see what they've gone through, some of them, and not really having a safety net to catch them before they fall through the cracks. At the local level, we have to find innovative ways to reach out to veterans of all wars. Patrick noted that the extended deployments, those that carry the burden, the uniform, are so great right now. We also see that the president addressed the processing of benefits in adding 2,300 processors at the VA, which is very important. That helped get people benefits that are suffering from PS.
Well, we clearly
post-traumatic stress syndrome.
We've got
to at the municipal level be
both for your service
about reaching out at the municipal level.
Thank you, Patrick Murphy. Thank you, Mayor Seti Warren.
Thanks, Michael.